Welcome once again in the lecture of course Design of Steel Structures. Today we are going to see design of eccentric riveted connections. As we have already seen the simple riveted connections. I am Mr. S. S. Ogule, Assistant Professor, Civil Engineering Department. So what are the types of connections? Basically the connections are divided into the simple connections and the eccentric connections. The simple connection which we have seen already in earlier classes, and the eccentric connections the on which the force and the CG of the rivet group is not coinciding, or in case of weld and the load is not coinciding. The basis of classification is center of gravity of the connection, as I have told you earlier, and the load axis. If they are coinciding, then it is simple connection, and if they are not coinciding, then it is the eccentric connection. So this is the simple connection we all are familiar about. The applied load process through CG of connection, as you can see here. Here is the CG of this rivet group or the connection, and the load is passing through the same. But in case of eccentric connection, as you can see over here, the applied load does not pass through the CG of connection. As you can see, CG of connection lies over here, somewhere over here, and the load is here. So what it does, it is the example of the bracket plate connected to a I section column. So here it has been placed at the eccentricity E from the CG of load, and you can see over here, this is the load. So it generates a rotation of this particular joint, as well as due to this P, the shear on all the rivets is there. So basically it is creating a moment, and as well as the axial force on this the shear on the rivets. So there are two bracket connections. Basically today we are going to see the first bracket connection. So first bracket connection, the load lies in the axis of this rivet group. That is the first case. As you can see over here, this is the load and here the rivet. So this load acting on this point lies in this particular CG or the plane of rivet or the connection. So what are the forces on the bracket? So first, here you can see we have the force P, which is placed at the distance E0 from the CG of this section. So what happens over here, this P is creating a moment around this group. It try to rotate this rivet group in this direction, that is in clockwise direction. So obviously we need to develop a resistance in anti-clockwise direction, as well as the force which is resisting this particular force, that is also there, which is this P, and which is distributed on all the rivets. So here the M is torque in mm, which is caused by this eccentric load, that is load into eccentricity, that is P into E0. Then E0 is the perpendicular distance measured from the center of the rotation of the rivet group. The line of action is called eccentricity. The P is the eccentric load acting over the joint in newtons. This R1, R2, R3 are the distances of the bolts or the rivets from the center of rotation of this rivet group. That is, this is the center of rotation. It is over here at which this tends to rotate. So these distances are r1, r2 up to rn. So n is the number of rivets in rivet group, rivet or bolts. Then F1 is the force in the bolt or rivet due to direct shear P. F2 is the force in rivet or bolt due to torque M, and K is the constant. Basically the design of riveted and bolted connection is the same, so we can use this thing on both sides. Only difference we know is up to 25 mm we have to take the gross diameter of the rivet is nominal diameter plus 1.5, and above 25 we have to take nominal diameter plus 2, and in case of bolts it is throughout 1.5 plus nominal diameter. That is the only difference. Otherwise everything is same in case of analysis. In case of operations it is quite different, as we have seen in earlier lecture. So moving towards the today's lecture, so these are the things which we need to consider. As you can see over here, as I told you earlier, this P force tends to rotate this connection like this in this direction, so obviously the opposite force will be in this direction. So as you can see here, so from the assumption made in concentric bolted joints, the load over the joint shared equally by all the bolts, forces in bolt due to direct load, that is this F1, which is this force in bolt due to direct shear P. So it is shared by all the bolts or the rivets. So this is the force F1 in a single rivet due to direct shear. And as we know here, this is the R1 R2 distances as per the bolt direction. So this force F2 is in direct proportion in the distance from the CG. If it is nearer, then this force F1 or this force F2 is higher, and if it is longer, then it is, as the R increases it is higher, as the R decreases it is lower, because we know if it is nearer then force is less, and if it is longer then force is high, because with the lever arm the moment increases as well as this force is also increases. So you can see over here, it's all F1 forces having the vertical directions, because the direct shear act in the upward direction, that resistance and force is acting in the downward direction. So all F1 are in upward direction, but this P into E, that M, tends to rotate the connection in the clockwise direction. So all the opposing forces F2 are in this direction, that is in anti-clockwise direction. So these are the forces, and as we have seen, these F2 forces are different depending on the distance from CG to this rivet. So this F2 is directly proportional to R. So F2 equals to K into R. K is the constant. So to find K equals to F2 divided by R. Now the torque about the center of rotation of bolt group is F2 into R. So F2 is, again we know that, K into R, so it is KR square. So the total resisting torque is the summation of all this F2 into R in every bolt. So I am making the summation over here. So this is summation of K into R square. K is constant, so I am taking it out. So this comes over equation as it is, the K into summation of R square. So K is again F2 divided by R. So F2 divided by R into summation of R square. So the resisting torque should be equal to the torque over the connection, that is torque over connection is this M, that is entire force. So m equals to F2 divided by R into summation of R square. But m is, we know, P into E, that is force into eccentricity. So again this becomes like this, P into E equals to F2 divided by R into summation of R square. So I am taking this R over here, this P into E into R divided by summation of R square equals to F2. So the force F2 is maximum, as we have seen already, when the R is maximum. So the extreme bolt we are considering as a Rn. So F2 equals to P into E0 into Rn divided by summation of R square. The two forces F2 and F1 are act at some angle in all different rivets or bolts. As you can see over here, the F1 is acting in this direction and F2 is acting in this direction. So we need to calculate the resultant to find the resultant in this case. So the theta be the angle between these two forces on critical bolt, then the resultant force F on the critical bolt will be F equals to under root, this is whole, I am unable to made it because of this limitations of the Excel, the PowerPoint. So under root, as we know, find how to find the resistance, under root F1 square plus F2 square by 2 F1 F2 cos theta. So this is the resultant of that particular extreme bolt. So for the connection to be saved, the force must be less than the strength or the rivet value. So the equation of resultant F is evident that F depends on the F1 and F2 and theta. For the resultant force F to be maximum with F1 being same on all the rivets and F2 being maximum for the farthest rivet from the center of gravity of joint, the angle theta between the forces be minimum. So moving further, what are the design procedure for these kind of joints? So the first step is the number and diameter of rivets for connection are assumed, and these are placed in 2 or more vertical rows at suitable pitch and edge distance. The resultant force on critical rivet should be worked out, as we have seen the procedure how to calculate the force on the critical rivet. The rivet value is computed and it should be more than the resultant force on rivet. Note that for convenience the number of rivet in one vertical row may be worked out by using the following formula, that is n equals to under root 6m divided by n dash s into rv, where s is the pitch of the rivet, rv is the rivet value, and n dash is the number of rows of rivet. So again we are going to discuss the problem over here. So the problem is design a bracket connection to support a end reaction of 200 kilonewton. The eccentric load of 250 eccentricity of load is 250 mm as shown in figure. So here you can see the figure over here. The load is placed at 250 mm. From top view it can be seen like this. This is the same case as over here. The P load of 200 kilonewton has been placed over here. So further the 50% of load goes over here and 50% of load goes here. So we are considering only one side, that is we are taking it as a 100 kilonewton. So here it is written, the end reaction transferred on two bracket plates, thus the load for which the bracket connection is to be designed is P by 2, that is 100 kilonewton. Let us provide 20 mm diameter power driven rivets. Assuming the rivet value of the rivet in shear to be less than the rivet value in bearing, so we are calculating the rivet value. So rivet value we are taking directly as a shear value, that is pi by 4 into d square into 100, so 36.305 kilonewton that becomes. So the thickness of bracket plate we are taking, we are equating this value to the plate tearing, that is 36.30 into 10 raised to 3 equals to d into t into that bearing. So we will get the t equals to 5.625. So the latest provide plate of 8 mm thickness. So the minimum pitch is 2.5 mm into 5. So 2.5 into 20, that is 50 mm. So provide a pitch of 60 mm. Let us provide a rivet in 2 vertical rows. We know the formula, that is n equals to under root 6m into Sn dash into Rv. So by that formula we are getting m is the moment over here, that is force into eccentricity, and this pitch is 60, number of rows are 2, and this is the rivet value in newtons. So we are getting the number of rivets in one row, that is 6. So provide total 12 number of rivets in each bracket plate. Number of rivet in each row is 6. For ISHB 150 gate distance is 90 mm, which is given in the steel table. So the force on rivet A, that is, we are considering this corner or extreme rivet over here. This rivet we are considering. So we are calculating the F1, that is F1 equals to P by N. P is the 100 divided by 12. We are getting this 8333.33 newtons, and we know the formula for F2, that F2 is equal to P into E R divided by summation of R square. E we know, that is R equals to, so how to calculate this R there? So here the gate distance has been given, that is 90, and we have provided the pitch of 60. So this 60 plus 60, that is 120, and half of it, that is 150. From the center this distance is 150, and half of this 90 is 45. So by using Pythagoras theorem we are calculating that R value. So 150 square plus 45 square, that becomes 156.60 mm. So the summation of R, same way we are calculating all the values. Summation of R, that 4 bolts are at this distance, that is 150 plus 45 square, that is 1 2 3 4. 4 rivets are at the 60 plus 30 mm, that is 90 mm plus 45 mm square, that is over here 90 square plus 45 square, and others are at 30 plus 45. So that becomes 150,300, that is summation of R square. So the value of F2 is 100, that is F into E, that is force P into E into this R, that is 156.6, and this is the summation of R square. So we are getting here 26.04 kilonewton or 26,047.9 Newton. So we know the cos theta, that is this 45 divided by this hypotenuse, the front side or the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse. The opposite side is 45 divided by this hypotenuse. The cos theta is here. So the resultant is F equals to, this is F1, this is F2 square plus 2 into F1 F2 cos theta. So this is 29,540.8 Newton. So which is less than 36,305.03 Newton. That is the rivet value which we have calculated over here earlier. So which is safe. So by this way we can calculate or design eccentric connection of type 1 when the twisting moment or the eccentric load is in the plane of the connection. So that is all for today. Thank you.